All right, home team. Welcome to another episode of Elevated and Chill,
Let's get it.
episode 9.
Crazy.
We're approaching the end. I'm your host, CJ, here with my co-host, Dougie Fresh. Dougie, what's going on? How's everything?
Yo, CJ, what's good, dude? I can't believe how fast this season has come to the almost finish.
Yeah,
Season episode 10 is on the horizon. We have some really cool stuff for episode 10 for everybody out there, home team. It's going to be amazing.
yeah.
But some mental check and life check updates. Things are going well over here. Feeling really positive about things. Was able to pay off the car. So, dude, that is fucking awesome. One less payment. So that's really nice. And then the weather has been nice, dude. Like we've been able to get out and do a couple of things. I'm excited that, spring is finally here. You can see all the flowers are blooming. I'm starting to get a little bit of allergies happening, but
Allergy
hopefully
season kicking in.
hopefully I'll be able to just push that to the side and keep it going. But other than that, everything else has been super super good, dude. I'm excited about today's session. I know we have a lot of good stuff to talk about. What about you, man? How's everything on your end?
Everything is good. On the topic of payments, so a little milestone for me. I'm under a certain threshold for paying off my loans. So that's pretty. We're
Get out of
chipping
here,
at it.
student loans. We don't want you
Yeah,
no
yeah. We don't
more.
want you to get out of here. So that's pretty good. Kind of gave me a little bit of a motivation to keep on going. Other than
Love to
that,
hear that,
everything is
dude.
fine. The same old life be life in, but we enjoying it to the fullest. And then just getting prepared for Ghana coming up, which is next week. I'm out.
That should be fun.
uh,
2 weeks, bro. Two
yeah,
weeks. You
yeah,
said your brother
two,
has a full ass itinerary for you guys to
yeah,
follow, but that should be really fun.
yeah. It's
You
gonna be
know,
dope.
I've never been to South Africa before. And obviously it's going to be a kick ass little city and trip for you. You have anything on the
Yeah.
horizon for the journey? Like what's going on?
Just like obviously when we hitting like kind of like the nightlife and stuff like that. They have like an art center there, so we'll go see the art center. Obviously I'm going there for a wedding, so we'll go out. We're gonna do the wedding. And a bunch of other like stuff too. And maybe hit a few museums and stuff like that. Obviously hit the beach. You gotta hit the beach, South Africa. Yeah, so I'll we'll dive deep into the itinerary. This coming up days, you know what I mean? But other than that, man, staying healthy, getting my fitness on, which kind of brings us to the first topic of the pod, top of the top, nutrition and health. It's big, it's big. It should be part of your daily routine, just because, we want to stay healthy for as long as possible. Um, I think the general question is, what does this mean to the home team? What does this mean to you, Dougie? We'll start off with you. What exactly does being healthy and nutrition mean to you?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I feel like everybody has their little nick or touch on what they feel being healthy is, or like being having a nutritious diet, right? Jan and I really try to dial it up during the week and make sure that we are meal prepping and have what we need. It's always important to have lunch and a small breakfast, right? Even if it's little, like having something in your body to kick off the day, and your metabolism will help you, one, have more energy, two, feel a little bit better, and just three, feel like you have a clear mind. So like when I think of nutrition, I always think of what is important that I'm putting into my body. Like
Hmm.
what am I eating? What vitamins am I taking? Every day I take a I have my multivitamin here, as well as I have my little apple cider vinegar that's really good for
Yeah.
you. So I'm always taking those on a daily, just to keep, you know, my vitamin intake up and my balance there. And then just trying to always be mindful of what we're eating. Nothing greasy, nothing fast food if we can help it. you know, there is cheat days here and there, but
Yeah.
we've been really focused on like the grilled chicken, and having chicken Caesar salad wraps, like something light, but also, you know, filling
Feeling.
that is really, you know, not extra, not too much extra like salad, dressing or any of that, just like very light and easy. But yeah, like mental health, physical health, and spiritual health is all part of that nutrition journey too. I think that those are things to call out and be very important aspects of like when you're dialing in and thinking about what you're going to be eating or what your diet is going to be, is how is it going to affect me physically, how is it going to affect me mentally, and how is it going to affect me spiritually slash emotionally. And you know, whatever you put in your body is what is the output that you're going to get, right? Your
Mhm.
body is going to feel sluggish if you're always eating something that's like greasy or like fatty, or you know, like not able to break down. I know that you know, were sticking to your guns and not eating any red meat. Not eating
Yeah.
red meat,
Mm.
actually, red meat is super hard to
Digest.
digest, and it's actually not, you're not supposed to eat it as much as you know others do. So yeah, I mean, for me, what does it mean to be healthy and nutritious is just like to, you know, stick to a routine, feel good about the foods that you're eating, make sure you're, you know, you're putting in your body things that will make your body feel good. It doesn't mean you have to count calories, doesn't mean you have to be on top of every single little thing. But it does mean that you have to put in the work to eat the right things and feel healthy, right? And feel good. What
Yeah.
about you? What's your ultimate meaning of being healthy or like, yeah, you know, nutrition in that
Yeah,
regard?
I think it's just a lot of it is just routine. Routine of, your diet. I always say, if for a car, like what do you put in a car? Like obviously you need to take care of it. You need to put gas in it. You need to put oil in it. You need to put, different fluids in it, washer fluid, all that stuff, cooling fluid. It's the same thing with your body. Whatever you put in your body's gonna digest, and if it's good, it's gonna digest properly. It's gonna help you, or if it's bad, it's gonna digest it. But then, obviously, you're gonna start feeling sluggish and stuff like that. So, I think the key point of staying healthy, it starts with your diet and what are
Mm-hmm.
you eating. So for me personally, I drink water every day. That's like part of my normal routine. Like I got water. I'm drinking water right now. Got water right here. I'm always drinking water. Maybe like sporadically, like you mentioned, it'll be nice to have like a nice little soda and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm always drinking water. I did go on this, actually, go on this 40 day Easter Lent season. That I gave up meat, red meat for 3 days. And it's just like you're eating cleaner, you're eating chicken, you're eating lean meat. I started eating salmon more.
Oh, nice.
So salmon, different fish, because fish gives you a lot of fish oils and omega and stuff like that. So these are all things that are very
Keeps the
healthy.
brain alert and functioning
Exactly.
at a high level.
Yeah, so I think it starts with your diet, and obviously, you know, that's not the only component, but it also stems into what are you doing physically to actually keep like that energy flowing and stuff like that. And I try to work out 4 to 5 days a week, and that could be anything. It could be like I'm hitting the gym. It could be I'm lifting weights at the gym. I'm doing cardio. I'm in dance now, so dance kind of
Mm-hmm.
subs isn't social and a physical activity. So even like getting your steps in, if you take a walk, that's still exercise. It's still getting you're giving your body movement. So they kind of work hand in hand, what you do. So yeah, that's like kind of my like routine in terms of how I take care of myself and my body. Obviously there's cheat days like you mentioned. Everybody wants a nice fucking milkshake, go to Shake Shack, get a milkshake with a nice burger with like cheese fries and all that stuff.
Love it.
You're gonna have those days, but it's good to compensate those days with a lot of strict not strict, but like routine based. I'm working out, I'm eating healthy, and obviously eat your fruits, eat your vegetables. I take vitamins all the time. I take a multivitamin. I started taking magnesium and stuff like that just to keep the energy levels going. But like those are the things that I do to keep my body fit and stuff like that. But like staying healthy also doesn't necessarily mean that it's all about the physical component of it. It's
Hmm.
always about, how are you doing mental and spiritually, as well as also emotionally. Uh, Hence why we always do home team. This is why we do the mental check, not only for us, but for you guys, because we're very big proponents of mental health and, that area of, being staying healthy. What are like some things that for you on your end that you and Jan or you yourself do for to keep like you guys healthy in the mental aspect, spiritual aspect, as well as emotionally?
Yeah, I think that that's a great call out. Like obviously when anybody ever thinks of like being healthy or doing right by your body, you're always thinking physically, right? Like these are
Hmm.
the foods I'm putting in, this is the source of energy that I'm getting out, whatever the case may be there. But yeah, mental health is extremely important. I think, a few different ways that Jan and I kind of flex that mental health muscle is really around just being open and honest, having good communication, talking about your feelings, knowing that if you're having these feelings, that's okay. Those are some things that are just like not many people think about, right? Like, my mental health is good. Like, I don't really care. I'm not going to check in on it. It is what it is, and that's not good, right? Like, you need to be open and honest. You need to try to elevate yourself. Here we are. We're on this platform doing that same thing. Um, and I think like, going to therapy is important. Having that open communication with somebody outside of your family as well really helps you understand who you are, but also kind of preps you in a way to have the right mechanisms that you need, like a coping mechanisms that you need to understand your body, to understand where you're at, how you're feeling from a mental standpoint, and using those on a day to day to continue to be healthy and feel good about it. So we always do that type of stuff. Check in with each other on, hey, are you keeping up with some of these mechanisms to feel good, and also be mindful that emotions happen, things in life will make those bumpy roads or rocky roads happen, right? It's always an ebb and flow, and sitting down and feeling grounded and having a good partner to speak to about it is something that is like super important to us, and we do that
Hmm.
on a daily basis. We try to decompress from work. Jan has been home with Dylan the last few months, so she wants to be able to decompress from being in the thick of
Mom
it with
mode.
her and mom mode all the time. So when dinner comes around, her and I will just sit, put our phones down, right, and really just talk to each other and have a good conversation, even if it's about nothing, right? It's just really to take your mind off of a really hard day at work or a really hard day in life, and just like enjoy the time you have with others. So that's some stuff that we do. What about you? What is your mental health like check-in routine, I guess, on your side?
I think working out is a big, even though like obviously that's in the physical realm, but it also helps you mentally because
Hmm.
obviously when you come out of everybody, the easiest thing is like, oh, I want to go to the gym, so I'm gonna go. But like the hardest thing is when you I feel like a tough day at work, it's like, damn, like the gym, I gotta hit the gym, and just keeping that mentality. And then once you go to the gym and after you feel amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Music for me has been a huge part of my life. I listen to music every single day. Whether it be, I have a playlist going on weekly. I started that back in like about like 2 years ago, and it's been going ever since. But I always listen to music. I listen to various amounts of music and that's kind of how I keep putting like a good keep my emotions in check and stuff like that. Obviously, you always have times where things get out of control, but definitely music has regulated that for me.
When
And
you're
spiritual,
listening to music and like locking in, like what are you
yeah.
listening to usually?
It depends on like my mood. Like sometimes in the morning, like I don't really want to listen to like, again, I have a playlist, so like it has like a bunch of different stuff. Like then it also depends on where I'm at in the
Mm-hmm.
life. Like when I came back from Nashville, I was to the country a lot. I'm always listening to hip hop and rap. That kind of gets me going on the grind. To get going to work and stuff like that. And sometimes if I'm in emotional terrible state, I'll throw on the weekend or I'll throw in some R&B, some soul music, some Stevie Wonder, something like that. Philip Bailey, Phil Collins,
Love it.
like that. If I'm in like a nice dancing mood, or happy, I'll probably throw on some like bachata, salsa, some reggaeton. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what my emotion is to help me like regulate that emotion and kind of a lot of they say music speaks to you. So
Mm-hmm.
I really felt that because a lot of lyrics that I listen to and a lot of music that I listen to really speaks to me. So got that in the tuck. Also, I mean, even though I'm not like a big, go to church every Sunday type of guy, just putting that out there. I believe in God, and I feel like God always gonna hold me down. So I pray every night before I go to bed. Every morning I wake up. That's part of my routine, just to get in a spiritual kind of motion. That God's gonna take me and help me throughout the day. So God, music, and the gym.
No, I love the threads that you just pulled there, and I want to kind of dive into them a little bit further. When
Hmm.
you're talking about, like music resonating with you based on how you're feeling emotionally, how you're feeling mentally, like what is the root source of like when you're finally listening to music and you're starting to decompress? Like, how are you feeling holistically? In that regard, like for the home team, for the audience, like
Yeah.
once you're in the mode and the music and the lyrics are really hitting you, like how are you feeling on that front?
I'm not gonna lie to you, like, for example, like if I'm in an emotional state of distress or like I'm sad, I came off a relationship or a situationship and I'm listening to the weekend, that's gonna really hit home. Even like some of Post Malone songs hit home. I'm just kinda like, damn, like I feel not alone. Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like in that emotion, like, all right, like this guy Post Malone, like we talked about it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He has the most diamond records of all time, and here he is singing about how he just went through a breakup, or he's going through a tough time in his life. So that kind of resonates with me. Or even if I'm going through it, like not even just a relationship or whatever the case may be, like even like just a rough patch, like these it's just good to see that these types of artists are going through the same thing as you, even though they may seem bigger. They're humans just like us. And
Mm-hmm.
they're in the process of creating this type of music because they understand that there's an audience out there like myself that probably needs it or could resonate with it at the same time. So it's mostly like when you hear like a lyric or when you hear like lyrics and you're like, damn, like this is really hitting home.
Isn't
What
that
do you
cool
think?
though? Isn't that
Yeah.
really cool? Like that you can just like sit down, listen to a song. It could be any song. And there's ways that you can empathize with it or you can resonate with it.
Yeah,
And it's just like another person on the other side of the coin, like dealing with their day to day. But instead they're putting it out there for others to be a part of and like have an audience like we're doing here, right? To grow together and like connect in
yeah,
some way, right? And it might be
mhm,
a small thread or it might be like a large thread. Like you might have the same things happening to you or you might not.
yeah,
And it's important to like just think through like how life is throwing, curveballs at everyone. And it's not just you, it's not just me. Like rough patches happen and we kind of have to band together to get out of them, right? Like
yeah,
I was looking at a post, I think it was on Insta or something. It was a strawberry that was starting to go bad, right? And then it
yeah,
was like the guy ended up moving the strawberry closer to two other strawberries. And
yeah.
those other strawberries started to go
The
bad and go
die,
dying,
yeah,
right? And then he did it in a way where he took the bad strawberry or like the one that was going bad away from the other strawberries and you saw that the other strawberries were still thriving. I think the
Yeah.
root of that, like, kind of like metaphor or like that whole thing that we like I'm talking about is that it's the people that you surround yourself with
Yeah.
that will help you be more positive, feel better, all of that. And that ends up like kind of having that same feeling about music too, right? If you're
Yeah.
alone and you're listening to music and it's this like it feels like it has that same vibe or you can resonate with it because you're something in your life or momentum on the other
Mhm.
side of it that they're helping you get out of this like rut or something like that.
Yeah,
um
for sure.
Another thing for me that really helps me like mentally and spiritually is cooking. Like I love cooking, dude. Like that is one
Mhm.
of my favorite hobbies. Like it takes me away from everything. Like it allows
Yeah.
me to be excited and kind of do my own thing and not, stick to a recipe but like know a recipe. Like all the things that I cook, I have a recipe or where like the ingredients of where it came from, but I never cook it the same, right? Unless it's like it needs to be exactly the same, like you're measuring everything out. But usually I kind of throw my own vibe on it or my own spin on it every single time. And I feel like that is like cooking is a way as an outlet for me that's like super positive. It makes me
Yeah.
feel good. Like I love doing it for others, right? It's not just like the entertainment piece, but it's the fulfillment piece afterwards. When
Yeah.
somebody's hungry and they eat your food and they're like, "Man, this is really, really
Good.
good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
appreciate you making this for me." That makes me feel good too.
I
Um,
I I think food too is just like and I love cooking too. Obviously like the basis of what I do on a day-to-day basis, what I just mentioned, but when I get in that kitchen, I throw on some music. Music fuels the soul. And then, like I tell a lot of people, like a lot of just cooking is about how much love you put into it, because
mhm,
you can't just, oh, I'm gonna sprinkle this and sprinkle that. Like you gotta actually like if you don't put love into it, it's not gonna taste good. With that
mhm.
being said, when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and stuff like that, to me it's just like that's what food just brings everybody together. You know what I mean? Like who doesn't want to eat a meal? Who doesn't want to enjoy food? And that's how you kind of like spark conversations and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's a big thing for me too. Like I love being in the kitchen, and cooking various and I like challenging myself. Like
Yeah,
so
me
I'm
too,
not.
dude.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not saying that I could cook everything, but if if there's something that I would like to cook, like I got this is your favorite thing, the slow cooker, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
The slow
The
cooker,
crock pot, I love it,
the
bro.
crock pot. I got a crock pot and I haven't used it, so maybe like maybe when I'm doing a barbecue, I might throw in like a whole fucking maybe like a pulled chicken and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and just grind it up, let it slow cook and stuff like that. So I like challenging myself, and cooking is like a universal love language. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I totally empathize with that for sure. I think cooking is a way to one open the door to conversation because food
Yeah,
is very conversational. Like everybody's got to eat, right? So like people love to do that, but also it's a way to just kind of get into the soul a bit more, like really like culturally find what you love to do and what you love to eat. Like everybody's always like, what cuisines are your favorite, or like what do you like to eat the most, blah blah blah. Like I think I'm in the same boat as you where I like to challenge myself. I like to do new
hmm
recipes. I like to be outside of the box. Like later today we're going to be making loaded baked potato soup. Like that is one of my favorite things. It's a nice little comfort food. It doesn't have to be cold to have soup. Like you can have soup and it still feels good. Like, and I love the crock pot, like you mentioned. That's something I love to just throw in, a pot roast or a full chicken, or we sometimes make corned beef and cabbage directly in the slow cooker. Like all these things are kind of ways in which I am releasing some of those like negative energies to have like a positive like feeling on it. And that all comes with, you know, love and challenging yourself and being involved in the kitchen. That then what is the end result, which is the food that everybody wants to eat. Like
yeah.
what's
Um,
your go-to? Like what is your hat like you would get into the kitchen and you don't need a like a recipe. You can just make it, and it'll turn out amazing. And everybody loves it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm. There's obviously a lot more to go, but I think I mastered the art of cooking wings. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I do like a dry rub, or I'll do like barbecue wings. I have experimented going doing like Korean wings as well, and it just slaps every time. Wings is like a staple.
Mm.
I mean like the usual. I do cook fried rice. That's another thing I cook because I'm Asian. And then spinning on the other end. I do cook empanadas. I cook all that stuff as well.
Yeah, your empanadas are
Dumpling
fire too.
the dumplings as well. I do dumplings. Just like little appetizers like that. But if you're talking like meal wise, lasagna, mac and cheese. I cook ribs too. Pernil. That's like the pork shoulder.
Yep.
Steak. I'll throw it on a mean steak. Arroz con pollo. Shit like that. I definitely do need there's more Asian dishes that I want to try, like that I haven't really kind of got a chance to cook. So definitely that's on the bucket list. But I kind of threw out a lot of food names, but if I had to like do something quick and something, I'll probably just do some wings. That's like easy. Everybody likes it. Do like a dry rub and do like either barbecue wings or like Korean barbecue. Switch it up a little bit. What about
Good,
you?
good. I think I
Yeah.
have 3 recipes that I would say I knock out of the park every time, and I'll be like, "Oh, like, this is like a 99 out of 100 because of this little thing," and you're like, "Alright, come on." Like, you're saying it's a 99 out of 100, it's still great. So I would say the 3, recipes that I am very, very good at cooking and have dialed in on is my homemade, tomato sauce with meatballs. I love
Mm,
love, love,
mm.
love that, bro. Like I kind of switched up how I make my meatballs now and I do them in the oven. We've talked about this on the podcast before too. The second one is my um parmesan and garlic buttered covered cod, and it's like one of the best ways to cook fish. Like I love whitefish. Ayana was not a big fish person, and now she loves whitefish. So that recipe, I kill it, bro. Little extra Parmesan cheese, some garlic butter. Throw that right in the oven, and
Can't
it's
go. You could never
amazing.
go wrong with some garlic. Garlic is like,
No, you can't go wrong, bro, at
yeah.
all. And then I say my final recipe that I've really really dialed in is my like homemade chicken noodle soup.
Mm.
I do a fire job at making one of the best matzo ball soups probably out there. At least I would, toot my own horn. But it is awesome, man. Like, and I'm a big soup guy or like pasta like sauce guy. Like I
Yep.
like doing that type of stuff. Obviously I can make a mean steak on the grill. I can do it up with breakfast burritos. I can do like whatever. But I would say that those are the 3 recipes that I have dialed in that are really, really good. Ayana, on the other hand, would probably say that my meatloaf is her favorite. She loves meatloaf, and I do like a bacon wrapped meatloaf, so that's fire.
Fire.
But other than that, I would say like literally just like the act and um the view of being in the kitchen is just like really takes me to another level. It really takes me out of like any, you know, sad or down days. I'm in there, I'm rocking it out and I'm having a good time. And it's always fun. So
Yo, home team, let us know what is your go-to dish. If you're for all my chefs out there, let us know. Throw in some recipes.
yes,
Would
please
love
drop some
to
recipes in the
recipes. I know you guys be
comments.
cooking. You guys be cooking some good stuff. So throw some recipes on it. Just on the topic of cooking and stuff like that. Baking. Do you bake? Are
I
you a
don't
baker?
bake. I'm not really big on
I
baking,
Ayana's a
because I'm
baker.
bad at it. Ayana is very, very good at baking. I know she makes some wildly good cookies. We're gonna have some chocolate chip cookies. I know she made some red velvet cookies for you before. Those are always really, really good. She can make
Those
she makes like donuts. that are awesome. She'll make
Yeah,
bagels that are really good. We actually made those little like bagel holes with cream
yeah.
cheese inside them. So good. Um, so yeah, I mean, I can make a cookie, but like it's not the same.
That's when she makes it.
She'll whip out like the what's it called?
The
The mixer that
the
we
Cookie
have,
Made
or
and Cookie
yeah,
Made,
the
I think that's what it's called.
and let it rip. And that's so much fun. So we're really excited to do some of those types of things too with Dylan. Is like making cheesecakes or making cookies and like having a good time as a family in the
Yeah,
kitchen. But yeah, I'm not a big baker, but the wife can really, really bake. What about you?
throw it down.
Do you bake anything? Like, is that like
So my mom's a baker. My mom's a baker. She has her own. She could just like on just whip out that Cookie Made and go to fucking town. Cooking just kind of like she doesn't like to cook, but she just taught us the basics, and me and my brother just ran with it. So usually on the holidays, like me and him will kind of like that's when we get in the kitchen and we just go to fucking work because my brother can cook his ass off too. So yeah, but baking, I wouldn't say I'm like good at it. Like there's no like standouts. I'm like okay at it. Like you're not gonna get no burnt anything, but it's not gonna be like, yo, I need this in my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
I think with
need,
baking it's so hard because everything has to be to like a T. Where in
yeah.
cooking I don't do that. Like I don't measure anything out. I just let it fucking rock and the flavors come to life. I feel like with
Well, I think,
baking you have to be on it. Like Jan will do some like, experimental
oh
stuff and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Ooh, be careful." And then it turns out being really really good. But me, I would fuck it up if I did that for sure.
yeah. I like with baking, like it's not really once you get like really good at it, that's when you could start experimenting. It's kind of the same thing with cooking. Like when you learn a recipe, you're not gonna go off the cuff. But like once you like, all right, like for example, like for me with my wings, like I just honestly the wings that I make, that's my recipe. So I just like I don't even measure it. I just
Are you deep
and
frying them or you're putting them in an air fryer or like how are
no,
you going about it?
no. So usually I do one or two things. I can't put it in the air fryer, but the air fryer I have isn't really big enough, so I'll probably put it in the oven. But what I'll do is that again, I always marinate my stuff. So anything I'm cooking for like a barbecue or whatever, like I'm marinating like 2 days before. Because when you marinate it, it gets the meat absorbs
Yeah.
the seasoning and it just gives it wow, that extra kick to it. So after I marinate it and stuff like that, then I'll put it into the oven, but I won't like put it at like 450. Never do that. You always
Mhm.
put it in like around like 320 to 350 ish, and you let it sit there, and then like you obviously like you watch it, you make sure like maybe like 30 minutes you flip it over and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I
It's
do I do
like a gradual cook on it to get to
yeah,
where
everything
it's
I
like
do, like
crispy.
again, is more like the love that you put into it. So
Mhm.
everything I cook is always like, unless it's like lasagna, like I wouldn't, I will prepare the meat beforehand. I'll do that, but everything like if I'm preparing the meat, like if I'm doing like if I experiment with a slow roast, or if I'm doing ribs, or if I'm doing chicken or steak or whatever, I'm always preparing it either the night before or 2 days in advance, just to like it could get nicer and right with the season. That's just my
Ugh, that
personal
sounds
preference.
good. Dude,
Yeah,
that
that
sounds
I
so good.
like, and it's a process. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
then you marinate it. It's marinating. Then you put it in. If it's a steak, you got to marinate it. You throw some butter on the pan. Let it let the butter sizzle in the pan a little bit. Throw in like your garlic and stuff like that, and then like you gently place the steak, and then let it everything come together.
And
That's
then
what
you're
I like about
basting it and
cooking.
everything. Are you doing it
Yeah.
in a cast iron or you're doing that in a regular pan?
So actually, we got a cast iron like about like 2 years ago. So I've been using the cast iron. Even like for like breakfast, I bought my mom not really a cast iron, it's like a steel plate. So we
Yeah.
cook breakfast on that sometimes too, and like the
Ooh.
bacon comes out really good on there,
Mm.
like the eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, and there's a lot of like obviously like things in cooking that you probably should get and for certain things, but money is
Dude,
a
The one thing that I really want once we move out of the apartment is a smoker. I want to get a smoker so bad,
My
bro.
yeah, my uncle has a smoker and he cooks his barbecue ribs in there, and it's like,
Dude, my stepdad has a smoker as well, and we used to do like, smoked trout. But he would do
yeah,
full chickens, like wings, like steak, ribs. Like, dude, oh my god, I love the smoker. And he has
yeah,
all different types of chips that go in there. Like, and it's crazy. You let it go for like, 10 hours, and then all of a sudden you turn around, it's like the best cooked meat, and it's so
yeah.
tasty, and it has all of that like texture and flavor and everything that you want in it. Like, that is something I definitely want to get when um when we move out and we buy a house. Like, that is something that I totally am going to have for sure.
Smoker on deck for Dougie Fresh.
100.
Yeah, so kind of segueing into our chilling ass segment. We have two, I think, dope questions for the audience and the home team. And home team, again, don't be afraid to put some comments or questions into the comments, so we could use your questions in this chilling ass. This is a
100.
mutual thing with you guys. But we do have two questions for you. The first one is, what is the best phase of your life, Dougie?
I would honestly have to say right now is the best phase of my life, and there's a few
Mm,
reasons why, right? Um, Not many people will go out of their way and say how old they are, but I will be 30 in June, and it's wild to think about how fast time has flown. But the reason why I'm saying right now is the best phase of my life is because, one, I'm a dad, and I absolutely love my daughter more than anything in the whole world. She is the best human. She's so fun. She's giggly, full of life, and is enjoying every moment. And you saw her the other day, so you know how she is.
yeah,
She is just a fun loving kid. Obviously she has her ticks. She's only 6 months old. When she's pissed off, she's gonna cry. When she wants food, she's gonna cry. When she's wet, she's gonna cry. But man, it has been an absolute amazing journey over the last 6 months to, one, see her grow into where she is now, and knowing that there's so much more left in the journey is so much fun, and just seeing how great of a mother Ayana is, and how much she's stepped up to really support our family on that side of the coin. It's just amazing to see. On the flip side, I'm at the age where I have my own money, I have my own like shit together, I have a great career, like all of those things are going like in a positive trajectory, and I'm still challenging myself, still trying to grow. So I can't say any other phase of my life would be as good as it is right now, with all the things that have been aligning in such a great way. I just have a really good feeling about where we are right now, and it's just been fun to see Dylan get older and do a bunch of different things and meet different milestones. We were rolling over and we're crawling a little bit, and we're throwing different things, and we're smiling and giggling, and that's so much fun. And then just being able to kind of flex and do whatever you want to do is just makes it easy, right? Like, when you have money to go do something, it makes it more fun. Makes it
yeah.
less financially of a burden, right? So I couldn't sit down and say any other phase of my life was better than it is currently right now. What about you? What
Mm.
was the best phase of your life?
I would say right now too. Not just for the simple fact that it's what I'm currently in right now. I think for me, I am doing a lot of traveling. Obviously, I'm pushing myself to grow in a lot of different areas. Obviously, me and you are building this platform.
Hmm.
And even though it's a gradual process, getting it up and running was, definitely a journey and a roller coaster ride. And just like a lot of things that I've been encountering, developing new skills, just overall growth has been in a upward trajectory. Still work needs to be done, but we're always kind of just pushing ourselves to be the best version uh I can be, and as well as hopefully you guys as well. This is kind of probably the best shape I've been in. Not really the best shape, but one of the best times I've been in terms of like in body wise. So just I would say now, and looking in the past, like there's been time, phases that I've enjoyed, but those are all like kind of like memories, and I just kind
Mhm.
of want to be like focused in like the now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
what am
love
I doing
that
right
about
now?
being present in where you are currently, and that's the mindset. I think whenever I think back in the past, like you said, there were important milestones and phases of life
Yeah,
that were really great and rich with growth and passion. But at the end of the day, that's the past, and it was all those memories and pillars and things that we did brought us to where we are now in the
right now.
future, in the present, and um it's hard to say, "Oh, I'd wanna go back and be in that phase of my life without, enjoying what is right in front of me at this
Yeah,
moment." So, like, yeah, I totally agree with you, on that front, and I think that right now is the best time, for sure.
yeah. The now is, living in the moment is definitely the best way to be. Obviously, like you mentioned, there's always like past times that are memories and kind of things that kind of shaped us to where we are today. But you know, you just gotta live in the moment. So I think with that being said, um, copping into our second question, which is if money wasn't a thing, what would you buy?
If money was not a thing and there was no object in that regard, I probably would buy myself an island. I would have an island that would be fucking right in the middle of the Caribbean where it's mad nice and we wouldn't have to worry about any no like where this island is, it's up over where you would have any type of tropical storms, like you wouldn't have to worry about any of that. You can live in the moment, enjoy whatever you want to enjoy, and it would be like your our sanctuary basically. Like you could do anything you wanted to do and be off the beaten path a little bit and kind of live off the land, maybe be away from the internet and technology and kind of disconnect a bit, but it's also still there if you want it. I would say that if money wasn't a thing, that would be what I would do. I would set up a really nice fucking island that has all of the things I want to have on it, and just enjoy life to the fullest and soak everything in that I possibly could. What about you?
Um, I don't really know. I mean, an island does sound cool. Maybe like get like a bunch of like acres of land and just have a farm, one, two, like a big house. Um, uh, just a bunch of land I could do a lot of things with. Have
Hmm.
events there, and I don't know. Well, island does sound kind of cool to be honest. Like having like your own little like island that you could kind of be in and nobody's bothering you.
Yeah, it would be an oasis. Anybody can come to it. Family could be there if they want, but they don't have to stay forever. Like this is our spot and it has everything that you need. I think that would be really, really cool.
Um, yeah, probably just like a bunch of like acres of land, and like a
And what would you
secluded
do
area.
on there? Like what would you build on the land?
Kind of just everything I need. Obviously, I'll have like a maybe like a little farm, a little garden, get into garden. Have like obviously a pool, and obviously it's kind of like more upstate in technology wise, but pool, basketball court. I have like a movie theater in the house, like just everything that I need and that I want to do in my house.
It would be
So
your
I
own
don't.
little compound.
Yeah, literally like a compound that I could just, if I want to go to the movies, I just go to my movie theater. If I want to go play basketball, I go to the court. If I maybe do like a football field or something in there, Like just things, activities that I want to do that I don't gotta go out and do it. Just be on my compound. Yeah, I think that's probably what I would want. Probably make myself happy in that regard.
Dude, speaking about like pulling back a thread on cooking, it wouldn't how cool would it be to have like an outdoor kitchen with all the works that you want in there and like you know, you could cook whatever you
Well, like
want
having like
outside.
an indoor like kitchen, obviously with like all the upscale like amenities, and then having like the outdoor, which would be like the barbecue, the grill, the smoker, the you're throwing any other type of amenity that you need for outdoor cooking in there, and yeah, it'll be fucking lovely. I will cook my ass off every fucking day, and have a ball with my family. Obviously, anybody's welcome. Invite only though.
So it seems like you're pulling on the thread of like having a nice mansion with a bunch of different
Yeah,
family
you know what I mean.
activities that you can do, you know, have a bunch of land. So like when you're thinking about this house, how would you architect it? Like what would you be looking for? Like what are some of the things that, you know, stand out to you now in houses that you've either seen or been to that you'd absolutely have to have in this mansion that you would be building?
Yo, for some reason, I like low key like the cabin feeling. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Okay.
like the cabin feeling, but I would like I'm like teeter-tottering between like a very like higher in technology or probably like some like gothic, not like gothic kind of architect kind of vibe. Yeah, probably like, but the cabin feeling just gives you that like that homey, you the living room has like a nice fireplace. I probably go with the cabin vibes. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
to
I
you.
mean, I grew up in a log cabin. My stepdad, literally, that was his specialty was to build log cabins. I do like log cabins. I would say that mine would have to be something, you know, a little bit more modern. I do like the ranch feel where you're not
Yeah,
having double, you know, double tiers unless it's like set up perfectly to have a two family or something like that where it's up and down. But like I do like the ranch feel. I like the modern open concept where you know you have that. But I do love a nice little Cape Cod house, like where it has like the good bones, good structure, the history
yeah,
is there, all that. That is like game changer. Ayana and I have been like looking at different houses. I know we mentioned this on the podcast a few weeks ago too. And just trying to still figure out what like we love about like houses because obviously that's a huge purchase and
yeah,
it's got to be you know if it's not perfect it's got to be right there around the things that we want right
yeah,
and I know we said if money wasn't a thing, like now let's dial it back and be like money is a thing. You know, I'd want three bedrooms, I want two and a half baths, I want a garage, I want a full basement that's finished, you know, like I want all that. In a nice modern up to date house on a nice piece of land. Um those are things that like I definitely need to have to buy a house,
yeah.
you know?
I would say if I'm getting like obviously money is a factor. I'll probably do like a nice like four bedrooms, two bathrooms, with a mix of obviously having a basement, a backyard, um, garage, all that stuff. Uh, yeah, that
Do
was
you
that was
like
that.
extravagant like architecture, like where people have like gazebos attached to their house with like bridges to like travel across
Yeah.
over like water
So
and stuff? And
so I don't know home team Nate and Dougie as well. MTV Cribs.
yes,
MTV Cribs got me very inspired to and expanded my mind on a lot of different houses. So, and to your point, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would nice having like a nice little gazebo in the backyard. You just chill there. You know what I mean? Maybe have like a little garden around it. You know what I mean? Give it like that nice little botanical feel.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe like if you do like a pool, having like some of these MTV cribs have like a slide coming down. why not have a slide? But obviously, if we're putting in money is a factor, obviously, because being more realistic, a lot of these things won't be feasible unless you have the money to do so.
Dude,
But
taking care of a pool is a pain in the ass too. Just throwing that
yeah,
out there. That
no, no,
one
that's
summer I worked at a bed like a bed and breakfast, and they had a pool, and I had to take care of the pool, and dude, it was a pain in the ass. So, if I had a pool, I'd hire somebody to come do it.
no. I mean, I would probably do the same thing to be honest. Because again, having a pool, even having a garden was maybe more a little bit different, but having a
Mhm.
pool is a pain in the ass. You got to put chlorine in. If you don't take care of the pool, that shit gets green and dusty, and a lot of shit is falling in there. But I mean, just the pool is just like a good thing to have, for parties and barbecues and stuff like that. Honestly, just generally speaking, I would like, the log cabin does seem cool, but just having like you mentioned, a modern house that is, built very well, structure wise for a family. And honestly, I just want to have a place where everybody can come and just chill and vibe out and catch a vibe. To be honest, that's like, with money included. Like if I have somewhere that people could come over, we could have fun and everybody's comfortable. That's kind of where I'm at with having a house.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really, really nice. And obviously, based on that, it doesn't have to be huge. It could
Yeah,
just be just the right size, you know. With 4 bedrooms, that's probably like 2,000 square feet, maybe a little bit bigger, but like
yeah.
that is like perfect, right? Is just having the things that you want to have in the house, and getting fulfillment out. You got to live there for a while, right? If you're taking
Yeah,
out a mortgage for 30 years, you better be invested in something that you want, to be your life's work, right? And have
yeah.
a nice little end result on it. So like I think that that's where my head is at as well, dude.
Home team, from our chill and I segment, let us know what is the best phase in your life. We would love to hear that. And if money wasn't a thing, what would you buy? Obviously we said what we will buy. But interested to hear what you guys would want as well. And then obviously, what would be your dream house? Would it be, a modern, maybe a penthouse, maybe like a log cabin, maybe a jungle home? I don't know. These are all just good things to think about, and stuff like that. Just we're coming to the end. Just wrapping things up with, as per usual,
Mm, mm, mm.
elevated advice, sponsored by
Co-star.
CoStar. Where you at, CoStar? With
We're still
the
waiting.
we're still waiting patiently out here. Dougie, what's your
Let's
elevated
see. Let's
advice
see
for
what
the
my
for the home
elevated
team?
advice is. Um, so thank you again, co-star. We're waiting for the contract here to sign it. But my elevated advice for the home team is masking your suffering will not diminish it.
Yeah,
Wow, that gets back to all the way in the beginning of the session where we were kind of talking about, just mental health and like making sure that you're checking in there, and keeping a pulse on that, like masking your suffering, like not saying anything to anybody and just letting things bubble. I have done this before in my life too. Like it gets to a point where you just break and then you're taking it out on everybody. And
hmm
that's not the best way to do it, right? Like if you're having negative thoughts or you're not feeling well or you're down in the dumps, definitely open up, definitely have a conversation with somebody, either a close friend, partner, whatever the relationship is, family. They'll be there for you, they'll support you, they'll have a positive outlook, and really help you. So like don't push any of your emotions down, or things will start to bubble up, and then when you get to the breaking point, that's when it's really difficult to kind of find yourself again and feel good, when you're in like this negative spiral, so um masking your suffering definitely will not diminish it. Being open about it, being honest about it, knowing that that's how you're going to help yourself grow, and do the right things for yourself, and do best by yourself. That's where my head is at. What do you think? What do you think about that elevated advice?
yeah. I just think you can't hide your struggles. I mean, I know a lot of people, including myself. That's why I'm in therapy. Like to just keep everything close to the chest. And that's fine at all. But at the same time, like things just get, like I said, like we always mention, life be life in. So it's just like a lot of things could just add up, and then, so and then you start for not you could be lashing out on people, but also you just start acting different around people that you normally are casual with or whatever the case may be, and it just adds a overall just a negative vibe. So it's just good to keep your face what you're going through head on. I know it's hard, it's easier said than done, but at the same time, just taking time out to be like, all right, I'm going through this. Nothing bad or good lasts a very long time. So just kind of understanding like this will pass, and then but I do need to realize that I need to face this head on and kind of do what I got to do to kind of get over this hump. So
Hmm.
that's like kind of my
Agree.
assessment of what your elevator advice is. My elevated advice for today is talk to people who make you feel cared for. That's kind of key. Just having a good circle around you in life is always a pleasant thing to have. Just people not really to like fix your problems, but more so to just like just kind of just be a listen, like a listen party. And be there for you when you're down and out. And just having the right people around you to kind of push you and and guide you and give you directional advice whenever you're in the slumps, because it's bound to happen. And it's just good to have just people that care for you, because what you might not want to hear is probably what you need to hear. So sometimes,
That was its own elevated advice right there.
yeah, yeah, that I'm dropping my own gem. I'm catching on. But yeah, like sometimes like people, you may not want to hear certain things in that given moment, but it's probably what you need to hear to kind of move on from what you're going through. So definitely keep that in mind. What about you? What do you think about that?
Nah, I think you're absolutely correct in all aspects of what you said. Surrounding yourself with positive individuals that are there to support you and not kind of course correct you or like tell you how you should do things is extremely important. And sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes you have to get rid of, individuals in your life that might not be helping you move in the right direction. And that is difficult. People don't like change. People don't like to move away from, this was a relationship and a connection I had and you were so great to me and where did that go? Like, as we grow and as we get older, things change, people change, outlooks change. But at the end of the day, if you have your core support system behind you, close friends, family, partner, whatever it is, those individuals will always be there to kind of push you in the right direction with you leading the charge, right? And that's the important piece of the puzzle is that you have to be the one that wants to make the change, that wants to do right by yourself, that wants to continue to grow. Nobody else is going to do that for you. And nobody else is going to drag you along to do that for you. They're only going to be there to help keep pushing you in the right direction. So I agree. I don't think, you know, surrounding yourself with negative individuals is the right thing. And having a positive, strong support system is always going to help you get to the next level and keep leveling up and up leveling yourself. So that's my thoughts on your elevated advice. Home team, let us know what you think. Throw it in the comments,
Drop it in the comments, home team.
whatever your feelings are around our elevated advice, or if you have other advice that you want to just throw out to the audience and get everybody involved, please drop it in the comments. You guys are our support system and help this platform grow and help us continue to grow. So we appreciate it. That's for sure.
Home team, as usual, you catch us on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. if you are guys on the West Coast Pacific time. We are active during those generated times. Yeah, home team, it's been a pleasure. Dougie, it's always a pleasure with you. And I will see you guys later until the finale.
CJ, thanks, man. Again, always a great session. Love chatting and having a good time. And I think this was a really really solid episode this episode to kind of dig deep into a few different aspects that we might not have dug deep into over the course of the podcast so far. But like you said, there is an exciting journey for next week. We have a lot in store for the home team, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, man. And we'll chat
Take
soon.
care. See you later.